Alright, Pokemon fans, this video is technically a little bit late compared to the past couple of weeks whenever I would do, kind of a quick thoughts video in reference to the most recent episode of the Alola League. Now, we are talking about the last episode, and Ash and Guzma have part 2 of their battle. And I gotta say, I was pretty disappointed. Now, don't get me wrong, and spoilers, all who cares about that crap? But in any case, this episode was decent in regards to Guzma's character and backstory and everything, but I think I would have, I don't want to say I would have cared more, but I think it would have left more of an impact if Guzma had more anime appearances rather than just popping up once after the league was announced and then there when the league started. I think it would have been great. Now, I'm not saying he had to be introduced in like episode 1 of the Alola region series, but I mean, heck, even Plumeria was underwhelming as a character. It just seems like she was so awesome in the video games, but then she was just like looking depressed about 90% of her time on screen because she was concerned about Guzma. And we really didn't see her for the awesome trainer she is. I mean, like her Salazzle, we only see it, if I'm not mistaken, one time, and then it gets his butt kicked by, well, its tail kicked by Eevee Swift Attack, and I'm like, what? Come on now. But let's talk about the episode now. Torracat, it was ridiculous how in the last episode it was holding its own pretty well against Golisopod. It one shot at Scizor. Due to the emergency exit switch out, which was still hilarious. And honestly, the best part of their battle, from the start to the finish of this battle, it was the best part. But now all of a sudden it's panning when the episode starts, and then it gets poisoned, and when it gets taken out, Nanu just calls it unable to battle when, Torracat didn't even have swirly eyes. It's like he didn't even approach Torracat just to ensure that it was unable to battle. If anything, it just looked more like it was still reeling from the poison than actually fainted. So that was disappointing. I mean, I was hoping that Ash would have at least recalled it. But then we have Pikachu versus Golisopod, and then after that one throat chop, which I think was like one of, if the only move that Golisopod used that directly hit Pikachu. Pikachu seemed extremely damaged by it, but after that, oh, I'm okay, I'm going to keep battling. And yeah, like I said, I really don't even want to focus on the backstory stuff, because if you play the video games and know the story, it was actually pretty similar to that. But actually, no, there were some changes. I do like the whole trophy thing. They did keep the idea of Guzma having a lot of runner-up trophies rather than winning trophies, and picking battles he can win instead of, he pretty much reminds me of Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z, where, or at least the Dragon Ball series, where it was especially during Z, where he would fight people and win, but if it comes down to someone he knows he probably can't win against, he'll either not fight them or come up with an excuse, or the fight will start and then he'll get the crowd on his side to convince them of some dumb excuse or lie and still keep his credibility. I feel like Guzma really fits those shoes when it comes to that. So he definitely gives me Hercule Mr. Satan vibes. But yeah, so he doesn't understand. I mean, it's a common practice for rival slash villain slash antagonist. Pretty much anyone who doesn't believe in the Pokemon or our friends thing, they won't be powerful. And Hal really doesn't give us a lot to, what's his name? Hala doesn't give us a lot to work with. I mean, he's like, Guzma's really powerful, but if he only had learned, basically about the whole teamwork and Z-move thing, but he's still quite powerful as a result. I mean, he beat a Mega Evolution. And okay, correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong about this, but has a single Z move worked in the Alola League? I feel like every Z move has either been dodged or blocked or canceled each other out. But I don't think, aside from Turtonator's Inferno Overdrive defeating that Metagross to end the Battle Royale, I don't believe we've seen one Z move successfully knock out an opponent. Like, it's one thing if a Z move hits the opponent, but for it to actually defeat the opponent. Like, I know Snowy used the what is it, Sub-Zero Slammer? Like, personally, call me Guzma, because when I was playing through Sun and Moon, I never used Z moves. I just did not see a need for it. I just thought it was ridiculous. But when it comes to competitive battle, well, at least on Battle Spot, the only Z moves I really use are Kokamo, the dragon, using its clanging scales Z move to get an Omni boost. And that's pretty much it. I really don't use Z moves. Not because it's like, friendship. No, I just think there are a lot of other great held items to use to boost moves and, so whatever. But so basically, Gigavolt Havoc. And honestly, I thought it would have used that Thunderbolt 10 million volt attack or whatever. I get that Golisopod has like a shell that's harder than diamonds, but to block a super effective electric projectile makes no sense. I mean, even in the games, you cannot fully protect against a Z move. Like, even if you use Protect, Detect, or whatever, it protects you from some damage, but you still take damage. So when they had their first battle, and Pikachu, I believe, used Corkscrew Drive. Look, I don't really know the Z move. It used the Steel Z move, and Golisopod blocked it. I let that go. I'm like, okay, it's a not very effective, type against Golisopod. Not to mention, Pikachu and Ash were still trying to master the move, so it makes sense that maybe it's not at its full potential. But this was a Sparkling Gigavolt. Well, Gigavolt Havoc. So for Golisopod to still block it made no sense at all. It was just dumb. So then, in a very smart technique, Pikachu used Iron Tail to kind of trip up Golisopod, leaving it open to a Thunderbolt. But to be completely honest, if let's say Guzma did a similar technique against an opponent, like Lily or Kiawe or somebody, they would have said like, oh, that was a dirty trick. No, that's battling effectively. So it was good to see Pikachu get in one clean shot. But to be honest, it seemed like Golisopod, Golisopod did seem like it used emergency exit because it wanted to, as opposed to, the fact that, I have less than 50% HP, I need to switch out. So when after getting hit by that Thunderbolt, Golisopod's eyes glowed red. I'm like, wait, is it about to use emergency exit again? So at that one point in the battle where Guzma is like, oh, you don't want to run away? And I'm just like, well, Golisopod's probably thinking, well, I used emergency exit already, so I can't use it again. So technically I couldn't run away if I wanted to. So after, that nice background music played, the two collide, it like blocked Electro Web, Pikachu dodge, Pin Missile, and with Quick Attack. And then it was Iron Tail and Liquidation, and Golisopod fainted. And then that was it. Overall, I think honestly, again, going back to last week's episode, the prior one where the battle started, I think that I definitely enjoyed the Torracat portion of the fight more than I did Pikachu. And nothing against Pikachu, but I'm just not a fan of like Golisopod just tanking a Z move that it's not it's not good against. Like cutting through Primarina's giant water bubble Z move with Liquidation, brilliant. It made sense. But blocking an electric Z move like that, no. Like again, the Corkscrew, like if it was a steel or water or trying to think what else it could use it, or fire Z move, makes sense. But for electric, nah, that's just too much to swallow. So I'm not gonna lie, probably not one. I think the best battle in the league so far was definitely Gladion versus Kiawe, but only the Turtonator versus Lycanroc. Well, actually, the Marowak battle was good with Lycanroc. I just didn't like how Marowak was taken out so easily, even though stat-wise it makes sense. But then Turtonator taking a whole lot of damage, learning Focus Blast out of nowhere, but then getting one-shotted by Savali, whatever. So overall, Guzma's crew wants to stay with him to learn how to battle better, which honestly, if you want to battle better, guys, get better Pokemon than Zubat and Salandence. Yeah, I just think that Guzma's battle with Ash would have had more meaning if he had more episodes, and I would have liked to seen Plumeria as one of the top 16 contestants as opposed to Lily or Mallow or something, just to actually show that Team Skull had legitimate members aside from Guzma. So with that being said, what did you think of the episode? This was not one of my favorite battles. Like I said before, the Torracat versus Scizor and Golisopod in the previous episode were I think Torracat got shafted in this episode. Like when it used its Fire Fang and was holding on to Galissapod, I would have liked if it would have gotten burned, just like, you know, Torracat got poisoned. And yeah, it would have halved the attack of all of his moves against Pikachu since he's a physical attacker, but it would have been good either way. So with that being said, you know, subscribe to the channel if you're new. What did you think of the battle? And what do you think about the finals being Gladion versus Ash, which is it's official, 4-on-4. So it's going to be Zoroark, Lycanroc, Midnight, Umbreon, and Savalli versus Pikachu, Melmetal. And we don't know the other two Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure it's Torracat and a Lycanroc. Rowlet, get out of here. So thanks so much again for tuning in, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you just saw, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, or if you have anything you would like to add to the video, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to keep up with me on social media, go to the description box. All of my links for social media are right there. Also, if you feel like you would like to donate to the channel, make sure to click on the link to PayPal. Any amount helps. $1, $5, $20. As a full-time YouTuber, any support from my fans really does mean a lot to me. Finally, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you're kept up to date on any new content I post to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.